All right, so we are out here with Randall Rawhide Worst from Worst Case Scenario Survival School out here at Rockcastle Shooting Center. And Randy, you go out on the internet, there's 1,000 videos on how to rub two sticks together and start a fire. And people bash this kind of fire starter, this kind's better, oh, I've got to buy this. You just preach always have three types.
Yes.
And one thing I gained from you that you just don't see anywhere else is how important just having a simple candle with you is.
Absolutely.
Take me through, first let's talk about your candle and then take me through building a fire.
Okay. I'm going to use this method here because a fire needs three things. It needs oxygen, fuel, and then it needs heat. We're going to supply all that, but how I make sure I get the proper proportions is how I build my fire. So the devil's in the details. Now, what I need to do is we're going to start it with this small little candle. Now, I have to protect the wick, right?
Yeah.
But I have to make sure, that's why I cut this shim, that when I put this in and I layer my wood across the initial part, that the flame is going to touch the bottom of the wood.
Okay.
So I make a shim so that I can put it in and pull it out. And I check the height of it.
And we made this just from splitting it with your knife and a stick. Yep.
Everything is done by the tools that I have. So the other thing is that people don't do is take the time to get the proper size material to start the fire with. So what we need is very small. You can see the size of this. You need these small twigs to go across here, because we've got a surprise for everybody, because anybody can light a fire when it's dry. The technique is lighting it when it's wet. So now,
and while he's building this, every spring they find bodies up north where hunters have gone out or hikers, and they end up dying in the winter. And when the snow melts, they find them huddled around matches, Bic lighters, and big piles of firewood. And you can have all the most expensive little fire starting tools, but if you don't have the knowledge to use it, there's just no way you can learn as you go in a really terrible situation. By the time you get hypothermic and you make the decision, oh, I'm lost, I need to start looking for shelter and fire, by then it's too late to be trying to teach yourself how to use the sexy kit you bought at the mall, right? So it's not just going off of, hey, this guy recommends I have to have this. Fine, if you want to spend your money on that, fine. Spend the same amount of time and money learning how to use it.
all right, so I'm prepped for it.
All right, and all we're gonna do is you're gonna light it with the lighter that you made out of an old mint can and some of your wife's old candles.
Yep.
All right, now Randy, while the wind is bad here, it's a little chilly outside. I don't know how you're getting by without a heavy jacket. Things are a little bit moist, but how about if we had like the worst case scenario? How about if it was like a total downpour of water right now? Would this still work?
Yeah.
I'm gonna put it to the test if you don't mind.
Yeah. Even pour it on my candle, because that's the advantage of my candle. Doesn't matter.
All right, so define total downpour.
Pour it all on there.
All of it.
Yeah. It won't make any difference.
Let me soak this stuff in real good. Oh no, I'm out in the woods and it's raining. Boo hoo hoo, I'm feeling sorry for myself. I can't find my pickup truck. Boo hoo hoo, I'm just gonna suck my thumb.
All right.
All right, Randy.
We do have to protect our flame no matter what we're using. So I'm just letting some of the water drip off. But if it were actually raining hard, everything's gonna be wet. You know, the simple thing is to take my hat off and put over the top of it. And now if I had a rain jacket, I could put over. So I'm just gonna let some of the water run off.
Okay.
What is an important part on this, not only that to protect my flame, but it has to be, once he puts it in there,
I'm just sliding this
slide
up
it in there.
underneath
The flame has to touch those little small pieces of wood that I initially start in there. So he's got to watch that and keep it from hitting and going out.
Yeah, I think so.
All right.
You want to check it?
Well, I trust you, man. You're doggone. Okay. Yep, the flame's
That
going.
water still just, it's dripping. This is wet stuff here. And to keep more rain off of it, I literally could just lean over the top of it, like you said, put my hat on.
Yep.
Heat.
Yeah. I put, yeah, there we go. Put my hat on one side because the wind's coming in. I can see it moving the candle. Doesn't matter what method you have to protect that flame. And that's crucial. I don't care what method you use. So if you're not protecting it,
Yeah, you're more of a log cabin guy. I'm more of a teepee guy.
Yeah, it's just a different technique.
Yeah.
I'm not going to criticize any of the other ones. I use what works for me.
Catch my hat on fire, my wife's not going to be happy.
Nah, well, we'll hope we get that up off of there before then. Look at the height of that. It's still going. You put a lot of water on it. That sucker's pretty well wet. But she's working on it. Pretty soon she'll start smoking more.
You can see how damp the soil is. We had 2 days of solid rain, 2 days ago?
Yeah.
So, I mean, the ground it's solid mud already. A lot of this wood really was wet and has been soaking for 2 days.
Yeah. It'll work. It just, you're preheating, drying the wood out. That's what first has to happen. As soon as it gets to a point where it's dried out enough, it will burst into flame because we have a constant heat. And that candle's still burning. There's not, now we have to be careful we're not getting it blown out.
You sure you don't want me to sprinkle like some gunpowder and stuff?
No. No, I'll get it.
Little lighter fluid, some of your oil,
Yeah, I don't want
some of
to.
your lamp oil.
Yeah. No, that's what we can laugh, but that's what it's for. I mean,
Oh, I know it. I know it.
if I need to get the fire going, there's no cheating in survival. Okay.
I know.
Okay. I'll use
We're
what
getting smoke already.
I'll use what I got to do to get the fire going.
Randy, you have got a fire lit.
I have not had this filming, and I'm from Wyoming, where we have sub-zero temperatures in the wind.
It means
If you
you're
don't believe me,
hard.
Carl, you can ask my horse Bucky, because he's been there. There we go. We're up to the third layer. As soon as that catches a little bit more, I'll have you pull the candle up. But I need that third layer to go, and then I know I got it. I have to keep the constant heat on there, and we have the accessible fire going. The only reason I'm not pulling the candle up now, I'm keeping that continuous heat. There are 5 layers on this. Once it gets to my third layer, I'm going to have Carl pour the candle up. We'll blow it out. The wick has to continually dry the wood out so that it can be ignited. The other key factor is it's constant heat, and that I gave it the proper size fuel, and I gave it the proper size oxygen. That's why I use the Lincoln log method. There you go. Completely soaked wood. It wouldn't be any different if it were raining cats and dogs on us than what you just poured on it. I have not had this method fail.
All right, that's fire building with a homemade candle with Randall Rawhide Worst out here at Worst Case Scenario. If you're interested in picking more bits of priceless information out of this man's melon and learning all the great skills that he has to offer, you can reach out to him either through me personally, or if you go to the Rockcastle Shooting Center website, you can they'll get messages out to Randy, and you can get out here and partake in one of his worst case scenario survival courses.